Welcome in, welcome in. How is everybody doing? Oh, I messed up already. Swipe left to close. There we go. There we go. El Prito, welcome in, brother. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome in. How you doing? What's going on, everybody? Oh, we got some people coming in. Welcome, welcome. We're glad you guys are here. How's everybody doing? Thank you for the like. I see you tapping the screen. El Prito, thank you for that. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Let's see. All right. My name is Vince with Truckers Unite. Now, today we have a show for you guys. Today's kind of going to be a fun show. We're going to read some facts. And we're going to get into it. We're going to get into some discussions. We're going to bring up some drivers. We're going to give folks 3 minutes to talk and tell us what's going on in your world. So thanks for being here, El Prito. We'll get some more people in here soon. Sean, if you can hear me, go ahead and pull yourself up if you can, okay? Pull yourself up if you can. All right, let's see what we got going on here. Hello on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. My name is Vince with Truckers Unite. Now, we are freelance journalists, trucking advocates, okay? This show is for entertainment purposes only, and the views and the opinions that we have are ours and ours alone only. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only, right? Just remember, entertainment purposes only. Sorry about that. Just got a text. So welcome in. If anybody wants to come up and talk, this is not a scheduled live. This is just for fun. So we're just here to talk and hang out with you fine people, okay? That's what we're here for today. So thanks for being here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to share out the live real quick. Thanks for being patient. I'm going to send out some shares. If you guys could share the live also, I'd appreciate it. And thanks for tapping that screen. Thanks for making comments. We really appreciate you guys, okay? Thank you. I am sharing a way to get some people up here. And let's see who we can pull in. I bet you we pull in some people. Oh, we got somebody on Facebook. Welcome in, Facebook. How you doing? I wonder if you're with Trucking the USA Today. Are you with Trucking the USA Today? Let's find out. Let's find out. All right. We are sending away. Give me 1 sec, guys. We're going to make this an exciting live. So I'm literally just sharing away. Do. We're just going down. Sent separately. Bada bing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the shares, guys. Appreciate it. Look at that. We already got 4 people up here just by sharing the live. Dude, I love it. I love it. Thanks, guys, for being here. Hey, Big Daddy Husker, welcome in, man. How you doing? How you doing? Diehard's in the house. Welcome in, Diehard. We got Wild Child in the house. Wild Child's in the house. What's up, brother? How you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for being here. We're just getting started, so please be patient with us. Give us a second. How do you say your name? And Ensner D, welcome in. Welcome in on YouTube. How y'all doing? Thanks for being here. My name is Vince with Truckers Unite Now. We got Sean somewhere in the background here with Trucking the USA Today over on FB. And we're going to rock and roll tonight. Tonight's just kind of a freebie. We do have a scheduled live coming up tomorrow. Thank you for the heartbeat. Wild Child's the man. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, sir. Yeah, so we have a scheduled live for tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific. And then we got one on Friday night, 7 p.m. Pacific. The reason we did that, thank you, Wild Child. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Thank you. The reason we did that is so that whatever your schedules are, whether you like to drive in the day or the night, we wanted to hit everybody up. We want to get the 2 million truck drivers that are out there, good brokers, good insurance people, mechanics. We want to bring people in here to have a safe space where we can truly debate like a true patriotic way, right? The true patriotic way, which isn't to put people down. It's not to gaslight people. It's not to BS people. it's not to lie to people, man, or hold back the good news. Why you got to hold back the good news, man? Share the good news, right? Lift people up and help make them successful. That's why we started doing these lives, because you go around TikTok and all you see is negativity as far as the trucking industry is concerned. That's all you see. More and more just people putting each other down. So nobody wants to come up and be a part of that, right? Nobody wants to be put down for not being the smartest person on the planet Earth. Nobody knows everything. Hell, who does know everything? Oh, God knows everything if you believe in God. If you don't, that's okay too. We don't judge here. Anyways, let's see. We got Sean sharing the live. Thank you. Thank you. We got Audrey sharing the live. Thank you, Audrey. Appreciate it. We got user 985 following. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. We got Big Daddy reposting, sharing the live. We got TikTok telling me to encourage the viewers to share the live. Yeah, I'm already doing that, TikTok. Don't you worry about that. We got Wild Child sending a popular arrow #1. Thank you so much. We got Diesel times 88 giving a follow. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Let's see who else we got here. We got the AI summary. We got some lightning bolts by Mr. Sean over at Trucking the USA Today. Yes, we do. Check it out. Check it out. Oh, it's not up. Hang on. Hang on. Oh, what is that? Oh, you can't really see that good, huh? All right. Well, we'll look at that in a second. User 985 says it's time to vote differently, not Democratic, not Republican, someone focused in USA, people and economy. Brother, you are 1,000% correct. You are 1,001% correct. The midterm elections are extremely important. My advice to everybody, I will be voting, even though I really don't know if it's going to do any, like it's not doing any good, doesn't it? Because I voted for America first, and I don't feel like I'm getting America first. I don't know about you guys. Sean, thank you with the roses. Hey, Sean, let me know in the chat. Are you able to bring yourself up or no? Because if not, we have a failure to communicate there. So let's figure that out real quick, brother. Let's see. We got Audrey is a longtime watcher and a rising star in the live. Okay, you can't bring yourself up, huh? I want to see. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see. Die Hard Deals LLC. I'm sorry, man. Says user 985 that runs on their own accord and keeps their oath to the Constitution. That's right. Thank you for the heart me. Let's go. Sean, I'll get you up here. Hang on. Just reading some of the comments. There you go. I guess you can't bring yourself up. All right. Salas. Never mind. Welcome in, Salon. Thank you for being here, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Look at that. 16 awesome people in here. 20, almost 20, 19. Man, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for tapping the screen. Thank you for sharing the live. Thank you for the comments. That helps this live get into the algorithm, get into the FYP, the For You page. And then we get this very special message. Truckers unite now. We get this very special message out there, right? Truckers unite now. So we are talking to drivers all over the country. We're asking them about the good, the bad, real transparency. What is going on in the trucking industry? We don't want to hear from these so-called smart people, these economists, these representatives of ours. We don't want to hear from them. Just so y'all know, we are freelance journalists. We are trucking advocates. Our opinions are those of our own opinions, okay? This is for entertainment purposes only. All right. You know why I have to say that, right? So we can actually have a fun live and tell the truth. So, because we got a really weird world that we're living in right now where everything's backwards. No. All right. Grumpy, welcome in. We got KSG. Welcome in, brother. I'm glad you're here. We got Funk TikTok, a longtime watcher and a rising star. All right. Pastime for a Change is in the house. What's going on, Mike? How you doing? If you haven't been over to Pastime for a Change yet, go check it out. Go sign up for Pastime for a Change. I'm telling you, they're not moving the goalpost. They're bringing it to you. All right. They are bringing the goalpost to you. Isn't everybody sick and tired of the goalpost always being moved a little bit? You know, I talked to the IRS today. I finally got ahead of all my taxes. I was on the phone for 4 hours with the IRS in Washington, D.C. today. And I wish I could tell you on TikTok Live what transponded. Man, I don't even know where we're going with all of this. It's unsustainable. It's unrealistic. Just like the Kelly Clarkson fire, it's unrealistic. And what happened at the fire, if any global elites or corporate giants are watching, look at human history, right? Look at human history. This isn't the first time that a disrupted employee not making enough money, not making a living wage, has done something like caused personal damage to a building, which I don't advocate for. That's not how we solve our problems. Destruction of private property or causing fires or anything like that. That's not cool. Or violence. It doesn't get you anywhere. All right, in my opinion. All right, but what the hell? If anybody wants to come up and talk to us tonight, is just a free live. It's not a scheduled live. We are doing lives from here forward permanently. Okay, whether it snows, whether it rains, whether I'm loading or unloading, we picked a time for all of you that belongs to you. It's Tuesday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific, and it's Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific. So we hope to see you there. There's going to be a lot of great people. Everyone's invited. It doesn't matter if you're a company truck driver, you're an owner operator, you're a mechanic, you're a politician, you're famous, you're not famous. None of that matters here. We just want to have civil, clean debate. We want to respect each other, not interrupt each other. Let's see. I'm going to read some of your comments. Sean, feel free to chime in if you want. I'm going to read some comments. Let's see. Die Hard Deals LLC says, supervision of language is a real thing, unfortunately. Yeah, you are correct. But we're taking care of that here. You're safe here. Here, nobody's gonna mock you, make fun of you, put you down. It's either education, research, facts, or you're gone, man. You're muted, disconnected, whatever. We're not gonna tolerate, like you see on all these other lives, everybody's insulting each other. Nobody wants to come up and talk. Why do you think that is? Okay, they don't want to be insulted. Nobody wants to be insulted. And again, nobody knows everything. Nobody. All right, let's see. Extra 55 says, we brokers will never tell what we're making. It's un-American. Well, that's okay, Extra 55, because carriers and truck drivers have something planned to, it doesn't matter. That's okay. Don't tell us what you're making. That's fine. Don't worry. Enjoy it while you have it. Let's see. Die Hard Deals LLC says Extra 55 and strengthen and rebuild a crumbling supply chain. That's what we're doing, Die Hard. That is exactly what we're doing. All right, we got our first guest up on the show. We got, I think it was Big Worm. Uh-oh. Shouldn't have pressed that button. Sorry about that. Big Worm, where'd you go? Where'd you go? All right, we got Everett Skimmer coming in. Welcome into the live. How you doing? Welcome into the show. Thanks for being here. Drivers, if anybody wants to come up and speak, now's your chance. Tonight's live is just for fun. Did someone say something about lane metrics? Oh yeah. Die Hard Deals LLC says Extra 55. Oh, he's saying to Extra 55, we won't need to with lane metrics. So Die Hard. Last night, or no, this morning, I was up really, really early unloading some tires. I went and I downloaded the app for Lane Metrics and I put in all my information, my email, username, password, and I'm excited. Tomorrow, when I book a load, I'm going to put in my real numbers and I'm going to check it out. And I'm glad you brought that up because Lane Metrics is going to figure out how to make sure, do we need brokers? Let's go get our own loads. How about that? Let's better ourselves. All right. Let's educate ourselves. Let's better ourselves and let's go get our own loads. Let's start talking to the shippers and get our own loads. Then who cares what the brokers are making? Let's get the bad brokers out and keep the good brokers in that are taking a decent percentage. And they are transparent. Why? Because honesty is good. Okay. business might be corrupt right now, but it doesn't have to be like that. Doesn't have to be. We can choose as a human race to make business a little more fair, a little more equal. We can have integrity and morals and a moral compass. We can have values. We can go back old school, like how our grandparents were, where you look a man or a woman in the eyes and you have a handshake. You don't need a contract because your name means something, right? You're a professional driver. You're a carrier. Your name means something. A handshake is all you need with me. The contract. I mean, what's a contract? A piece of paper? Die Hard, welcome into the show, brother. How you doing?
Good. What's up, Vance?
Oh, we're just doing a live tonight for fun. Tomorrow's the first scheduled, but tonight's just for fun. We're just playing with it and figuring things out. How you doing?
Well, pretty good, man. Just winding down for the night. About to hit the hay, but I seen you pop in for a live real quick, and I just wanted to make sure I come in and contribute and help promote you. Help support your cause, and uh, you know, I had to come in here when I see these snarky brokers thinking that they're always going to have a hand over us because they're not. Because there is infrastructure coming in place that they're not going to be able to control. Their days are numbered, and honesty and transparency will win because truth always wins. And
That's right.
those who believe in the Almighty and pray and strategize and take initiative from inspiration on high create things to overcome those who seek to oppress. And yeah, so it's okay. Let them have their fun for now
That's right.
because when lane metrics comes into full effect, they won't. Everything will just be perfectly honest in the way we book freight.
Yep. Yep. So so um so Die Hard. What if some of us owner operators 50% of the time became brokers and we went and you know we went and got our own shippers, right? We create contracts with our own shippers and we give carriers transparency. I wonder where the carriers are going to go if I became a broker, if I got out of the truck and I started getting a lot of customers, shippers for everyone else, and I said, hey, diehard, I got this load for you, man, fully transparent. I'm going to show you what the shipper's paying me. I'm taking 3, 5%, and the rest is yours, brother. Are you going to go with me, or are you going to go with a broker that says sign this carrier package?
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of guys doing that. I'm not saying I'm doing that. That's just an example. And it's happening
Right.
behind the scenes right now as we speak. And I love it
There's
because
all different kinds of ways. Like I said, it starts with the fact that the drivers are deciding to get educated, awakening and realizing their responsibility in the supply chain, and they're stepping up and taking the proper stewardship they should instead of letting the middlemen run the show. They can have their use. They've had their time, and they may or may not have abused that time. And as a result of that, you can't rob justice forever.
that's right. That's right. I forgot to mention to everybody, we're doing 3 minutes per person unless you're really on something good. So everybody miking right now, that's perfect. That's how we're going to start running these lives so that we can get through people really fast and hear what everybody has to say. So thank you guys for being respectful and muting so Die Hard can talk. So we're going to be going through people and just like it is a line right here.
Yeah.
I did this 7 months ago when I first started and I lost my way. Die Hard. I lost my way from brokers coming up here and just completely drowning me with negativity. But we have found the spark. We're back. We're not going to tolerate it. Now we know their game. We know their play, which you said it perfect. The light cancels out the dark, right? It shines over the dark.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And with
So
patience and perseverance, staying the course, education, it all comes back around. But it all begins when we realize the rewards of our acquiescence. And unfortunately, the trucking industry had to learn a hard lesson in that. Um, things are going to change. And there's people moving in places, there's chess pieces moving for a reason.
That's right. That's right. You know, with the records to be kept by brokers, I wouldn't. They have to keep their records for 3 years, right? So I heard someone say the other day that it's a possibility of having a class action lawsuit also. So Alexander, thank you for the follow. What's that? Sorry.
It's very possible. You hear lots of different ways that it's all coming back around.
Right.
So
Right. At the very least, let's stop the damage and let's get American carriers and professional drivers. Let's get them back the lives that they've earned, the financial lives, the freedom that they've earned. You know, we are too regulated, man. We have to stop it. We have to stop
let's undo the damage of the culture that happened from my two most hated words, free shipping, has done.
Right.
Think about that for a second.
Right.
Think about what the culture of those two words has instilled in the American economy and what it's led to. Ponder on that for a moment. Because if you truly believe that everybody should provide free shipping, then you provide in an old pastime trade that everybody says they don't believe in and condemns.
That's right. That's right. Well, brother.
Go ahead. You go to bed. You have a good night, guys.
Thank you, Die Hard.
Have a great live, Vince.
Thank you, brother.
Keep positivity, keep spreading strength, keep spreading unity, keep doing what you're doing, brother. I love you.
Will do too, man. Will do. We love you too, man. Have a great night, okay? Thanks for coming in. And Die Hard, thank you for everything that you do for our country. Thank you for sacrificing your time, your life, your energy. Thank you for all the anxiety that you go through to get our freight around this country. Thank you for that. We appreciate your hard work. Hey, where did MC? MC, where'd you go, brother? Come back up. All right, past time for a change. You're up, brother. How you doing? Welcome in.
Not too bad. Hey, I've got a microphone I just mute on my thing, but I can't be messing with my device, as you know. So
Right.
I'll just mute up. If I'm not muted, let me know. I'll mute up. But I just want to come and let you know that you're not a broker. You will be a freight agent. We will not be brokers.
Freight agent. My bad. Freight
Yes,
agent. Sir. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mental note. Freight agent. I love it. All right. Well, you hear that, everybody? We're going to become freight agents. Okay. With complete transparency. Complete transparency. How's that sound? Are you going to go book a load with a broker and a carrier package and everything is hidden and everything is dark and it just doesn't feel right and you're not making any money and you can't survive and you're stressed out and your family's like, Dad, I need this, Mom, I need this, honey, I need this, but you can't provide it even though you're burning 90 hours a week? Or do you want to have a nice life for yourself and go on vacation a couple times a year? What do you want? You got to ask yourself at the end of the day, what do you want? We're changing the game, folks. Hey, Trucker B-Rat, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Sorry, Mike, I'm interrupted. Go ahead.
You're done, bro. I came up to let you know that you're kind of spreading the message a little bit. Like I said, we're not quite ready, but just do it the right way because what you just described is actually illegal. We can't do that.
Okay, so freight. What is it called again? Freight agent. Freight agent. Okay. Okay. Yep. I like it.
Question for you. Have you been following along on the C.H. Robinson memo that they sent out this morning? I think it was how their court hearing went.
Talking to me, or are you talking to me?
I'm talking to you.
I've heard a little bit about it. I heard that they made a major mistake and came right out, started attacking the media instead of just saying I don't want to comment right now. They already showed that they're guilty. So
So
it's going to be interesting.
do you think they're going to get immunity? You don't think they're going to get immunity yet?
No, I don't think so. I think that there's too much going on fraud wise that they're getting to the bottom of it and why it's been happening, because they've been manipulating the system far too long, and with people like me and Vince and you and everybody else that's pointing out all the things like, you know, the geo trackers and it's for the logs and them being you know, part of the partnered up with the logging devices. And if you go look at Highway, you can see that they are literally partnered with all of the big logging devices like Keep Trucking and all the other ones. You know, what is that other one? They changed their name.
Lane metrics.
No, it's not Keep Trucking anymore. It's the other one. It's I can't remember what the hell they call it now. But anyway, lane metrics is to that's to tell people how what they should be rating their loads at. It actually runs like, if I remember right, he was telling me it's like 10,000
Motive.
different motive. That's it. Lane metrics runs like 10,000 different figures all at once to figure out what your cost should be of operation. These brokers, they constantly say we don't care what the truck needs. Well, now we'll just say their customer is going to be able to see what the truck needs and what they're actually charging. So that's going to be a big game changer too, when they find out that they don't need to pay as much as what they're paying, because they'll be able to use that system just like anybody else. You just have to give them that clue. We'll leave that right there.
Yeah, no, I think like me and Vince will tell you over and over again that anything in the industry that's to make a change is for the good. We're out here to support it and back everybody up. That you know, to help get those changes going in. But yeah, I was going to hit you on that part of that they called them out on the logbook and doing unsafe acts. I mean, that was pretty good that they actually pulled that out and is linking them to it. So we're definitely paying attention to it. I'm gonna follow up that they see how it goes, you know. But I'm hoping that they don't get it just for our sake in the trucking. And if they don't get it, that means that the power is working in our favor. So I'm glad you brought that up.
One thing about that, let's realize one thing. I'm not positive. I need to go check again, because it was either C.H. Robinson or TQL that's actually registered as a trucking carrier, right? A truck carrier that doesn't own not one truck, but controls all the loads in you know, Eric. And we kind of want to know how it is that they're registered as a truck carrier and how they're actually getting those loads. Because if they're getting them as a carrier and pushing them down as a brokerage, oh, they're already done. They're finished. So just FYI, if they are actually registered as a carrier and not a brokerage, that's what I was being told. I haven't checked up on it, but I think they're registered as a carrier, not a brokerage. And if they're doing that, carriers can't give loads out. Period.
So I think maybe what happened is I know they were trying to be like an LP carrier or an LP. I'm gonna explain the definition, and Mike, you can chime in here if you like, because people hear it in these lives. You know, like I want to try to educate like what it actually means, because when you hear it, you're just like, I wonder what that is. So basically, what an LP is somebody that doesn't own any trucks at all. They actually go out and basically say, hey, you know what? If you got 200 loads to move, we can get 200 trucks here to actually move this freight. So they don't own nothing. They don't have no skin in the game as far as that. So then the shipper says, hey, you know what? We need 200 loads moved. So yes, you can have this. And they actually put it out on loading boards, and they move the freight. So when you hear an LP, that is somebody that does not have. They don't own any trucks. They don't own any. They own an MC number because they have to actually work underneath that. But they have no semis, no drivers, no nothing. All they have is freight that they've said, hey, you know what? We got networks. We have networks of 20,000 trucks. We can move 200 loads for you within 3 days, and we can have them moving. So, Mike, what do you think? That's a pretty good example as far as summing up. So when people actually hear LP, this is what we're talking about.
Well, yes and no. See, the thing is a broker can distribute loads. A carrier cannot. Like, I cannot be a carrier and give Vince a load. That's against the law. There's no pathway for a carrier to give another carrier a load. That's why when you go into a company, they say, what capacity do you have? You don't say I have 100 friends. You say I have one truck, right? So a carrier cannot actually distribute loads. So it turns out that's what they've actually been doing. Oh, they're in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Like, they will not exist anymore. There's no way they can hide that.
Joe.
Well, I think they may have messed up. You know what I mean?
Just a little bit.
Good. Yeah.
John, quick, give me back shots.
Sorry about that, everyone.
There's your mad broker right there.
Yep. That's okay.
You had it before I did. I was close.
I don't know how he unmuted. I had him muted. I was waiting for Mike to finish, and then I was going to let him in. But scrubs, exactly, scrubs.
With the industry right now is like these guys are trying to find every loophole, and they're slipping. They're just like, hey, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's get the freight moving. I mean, it happens to us. I don't know how many times I've dealt with brokers, and they're just like, hey, hurry up, sign your contract. If not, this load's gonna go. And you're dangling this carrot over your head. And it's the same way I feel. It's the same way with these guys. They're like, hey, we got this. We're getting freight. Let's hurry up and let's get this thing in business. And they're not paying attention to what they're doing until afterwards. Long times down the road, they go, oops, we never back checked it, made sure that we filed the right paperwork to make this fall through the cracks. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and I think the more people investigate, the better it is. Like, I mean, if you look at, now the internet with AI stuff, yeah, everybody's like, hey, AI is a bad thing. It kind of is a bad thing because you can actually literally find out and use it for the sources the right way to actually find corruption. I think it's a great tool for it. You don't use ChatGPT by itself, but you use the sources that it's actually given. Yeah, it's a phenomenal tool. You can actually go through the pages, and use it the federal databases like FMCSA site. All these big places that back in the day we never had that opportunity to actually try to look into it. They made it so much paper pushing that you just went down this rabbit hole that's going out of style. But now you can use AI to kind of go through them rabbit holes real quick and to get to the point of finding out where the fraud's at.
I was just going to point out that you really want to check your sources. It gives you sources in the AI. Make sure those sources are real, because a lot of times it'll pick up a newspaper or even satire or something like that, and it'll throw it in as factual. And that was one of the problems that I had with people using it to find facts. And people don't understand how AI works. If you're using it, that's great. Just make sure that where it's getting its sources from is actual facts. So just make sure of that.
That's right.
Everybody make sure it's like an FMCSA. Make sure it's a federal database site. Those are all going to be 100% facts. Well, I don't know. Actually, FMCSA, we hope that it's all factual, but that's what the facts are. Is if you use FMCSA and any kind of DOT.gov, for road departments, highway, all these are very, very good sites. That is all factual, federal side of it. So yeah, I always tell everybody look on those sites if you're trying to dig into something, and you got the lookups, so you can look up MC numbers. That's an amazing site. So if you are doing research and you actually want to try to explore into this stuff, I was in a live last night and I said, this super ego, it's almost like it's like the first 48 hours or a crime show right now. Everybody's like, hey, let me get the next facts in. I want to be ahead of the game, and it's actually pretty neat. So everybody's just throwing the information out. There's guys on different platforms that are saying, hey, if you know something, say something. Come in, let's talk about it. So I mean, now I think the drivers are bonding together to find out what the actual evidence is laying out in place and giving the information to the right hands to help solve this and get this corruption out of here and get the money back in America like what we voted for. It was American first, and I think the truck drivers are the ones that are going to be pushing us the most of keeping it American first.
That's right. That's right.
I wanted to say if there are people out there that are talking about it and they're making sense and they're not gaslighting and they're actually, because to me, again, the brokers, they have plenty of representation. Like I'm done representing them in any way, shape, or form. They told me a long time ago that they didn't care whether or not we got what we needed to run our trucks. They only cared about whether or not they kept the customer, right? And now they're changing their tune, but why are we letting? Why are we backtracking?
That's right.
Long story short, if you find people that are actually working with us and not gaslighting, let them know that my platform is set up for the creators so that they can literally, that's not it. But anyway.
No, I know. I was doing something. No, that's we the truckers. No, I know. I was doing something.
Send him a sticker, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He needs to get one that's backwards so he can put it on camera.
Or just mirror the camera backwards. That's actually written backwards to look straight. What
you should do is actually get you a mirror, shine a reflection into it, take a picture of it, and then show that on camera.
There we go.
But anyway, so I designed the creator pages so that the ones that are actually speaking out, because once you start speaking out, these platforms are going to enter. They're not going to let you talk. Once you start getting traction, all the brokers are going to come in. They're going to mass report you and everything else. And until we actually get the platform up where we're speaking there and people are coming to us to actually listen to what we have to say, we literally have to protect our because like Vince, 20,000 people were following him. How many are following now? And
3,000.
even though he's doing the same thing, it's not building like it was before. They are pushing him down in the algorithm, right? But if he starts making traction again, people start listening and he starts saying the same things he was saying, his accounts are going to go bye-bye. But what if you could go one place and know where that account went? Because all he does is go in and change his account to his new one. Now you follow that account and you can literally get all your following back overnight.
That's right.
It was designed.
That's amazing, and that's what we need in this industry is a driver making it for other drivers to come and talk to and keep this corruption out. Because once we find out more and more and digging into it deeper, I think there's going to be lots of change. Probably within, I would say, a bunch of change in this year that's going to happen. I mean, there's we're doing a thing calling out toll roads. There's the taxes that were being stacked up. I mean, there's a lot of change that I think you're going to see this year that's going to be like making trucking move forward. And getting rid of these corruption brokers that people are calling them out and saying, hey, you know what, don't do business with these guys. Because you see credit scores and stuff like that, but you don't actually get the 100% facts. And I think we're going to see like a reform of self-regulation is what I'm going to call it, but it's going to be amongst drivers. It ain't going to be in the government's hand, and it's going to make us more powerful and fix up trucking. I see it coming.
We're going to get it done. Well, let's see what Lane Metrics has to say. Welcome to the show, Lane Metrics. How you doing? Your Lane Metrics, your volume, your audio is really low. We can't hear you. Perfect. What's up, brother? How you doing?
Radio voice.
Yeah, getting ready to go to bed, scrolling, and I happened to come across this, and our pastime there at the tail of it say something about the app. something about 10,000 calculations or something like that. Just to be correct about it, it's 196,000 calculations in 1.6 seconds.
Wow. Wow. Well, I downloaded the app this morning. Just so you know, I filled out all my basic information, and what I really like about it, I'm booking a load tomorrow, and then I'm going to put real numbers in it. But just signing up, creating a username, password, putting in my email, it was really, really easy to use. That's the first thing I noticed. You had all the information in there that you could just pretty much choose from. How many axles? You're like, the basic is 5. For like, basically for drivers that don't know, right? Like, what's the height of your truck? And then you have a little memo. The average is 13.7. So, like, you put in what the averages are, but if you know if yours are different, then you put in that. That's the first thing I noticed is how easy it was to use. So, good job on that. Good job.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. Well, we tried to make it as easy as we could, as intuitive as we could. And then also, if you've looked on the profile settings page, there's a demo video there and a tutorial video. And you can watch that tutorial video, and it actually walks you through it all step by step and explains it all in full detail in case you've got questions or you're not sure about something. That's the easiest way to get your answer. And then from there, if your question's still not answered, all you got to do is reach out to us.
Awesome.
But, then
Awesome.
the other thing, too, about as far as a broker using that app to try to figure out where the rates really are, that's irrelevant. You would have to have operating numbers because the entire app works solely on your numbers. Everything about the app, when it tells you a rate on a lane, it's your rate, 100% your rate, nothing else. So unless they knew all the numbers to input for every carrier that they were talking to on the phone somehow knew, they wouldn't know what your rate had to be. So that's irrelevant.
I think you misunderstood what I was saying. I was saying their customers can figure out that the rates that they're being charged are not what is needed by the truck. That's what I was saying. Is if they plugged in some numbers and played with your calculations, they would find out the rates that the brokers are giving them is inaccurate, and they would want to work more with the carriers because they save quite a bit of money. Just saying.
Well, maybe, but like I say, that's the beauty of it. When we ask you all the questions like we did with Vince when he was on board and he was kind of talking about it, we don't ask your MC number. We don't ask your company name. We don't even ask your name. Because I drove for almost 30 years, and I know how truckers are. They're secretive. They don't want anybody spying on them or anything else. So that's just extra insurance that nobody's trying to scavenge or watch or see numbers or anything from our end. There's no data sharing, period, with anybody, ever, for any damn reason.
I like it. I like it.
When you put your data in there, it's by God yours and yours alone.
I like it.
I did have one question though, and IR Deals couldn't tell me. Is there fuel in there?
Raw fuel, too.
Raw fuel.
It's still a separate app, stands by itself, and it's still free.
Okay.
That one is free. Now, at some point, we probably will roll them both into the same app. We'll probably take raw fuel in the coming, I don't know, maybe within the next year or two as we get time. We'll probably end up putting Lane Metrics into tiers, subscription tiers. Because this is just the beginning. This was just to try to hurry up and get this out here to try to help save the rates in this industry. Because I'm a firm believer, if everybody knew their true numbers, nobody would take any load for $1, $1.50 a mile. Nobody is going to make enough profit to sustain being in business for any length of time, pulling rates and pulling loads for that cheap of a rate. So it's just the beginning for Lane Metrics. We're going to build this out into an entire one-stop shop for any small carrier or owner operator, whether you're leased on to somebody, you're running your own authority or whatever, you can run your entire company from one app on your phone.
So everybody tuning in right now, go follow Lane Metrics and let's go check out the app, okay? All right, our 3 minutes is up. Lane Metrics, thanks for coming in. We really appreciate this is what we're talking about right here. Instead of putting drivers down, Lane Metrics went and did something to empower drivers and carriers, right? They went and they did something that matters. Instead of putting people down, they went and did something to empower drivers and carriers. So good job, Lane Metrics. Thanks for coming in, and come back and see us, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Next up on the show is Lewis.
Real quick, Vince, drop me down, or just I'll be out for about 45 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, what's up?
I got stuff to do.
No worries. What's up? All right. Next up, Lewis. Welcome in, Lewis. I think you're on, you mic'd yourself there, Lewis. There you go. Perfect. How you doing, man? Welcome in. Let's get you a gift.
I totally agree with Lane Metrics. I believe if a lot of these guys knew their own operating costs, they would quit accepting loads for less than what it costs to haul the freight. He was talking about the shippers, if they find out what a lane should pay or whatever, that they would cut the rates on the brokers and the carriers. But I don't believe that, because every lane has a different rate, and rates change with the seasons.
Right. Have you used it yet or no?
No, I have not. I just found out about it 5 minutes ago.
Ah.
I will go get it though.
Yes. Yeah, I just downloaded it this morning and I'm going to try it out tomorrow. I filled out all my basic information, and tomorrow when I book a load, I'm going to give it a shot, see how it works. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many variables in trucking, nothing's going to be perfect, right? It's going to be hard to build anything that benefits everything and everybody. But as glitches come in, I'm sure they'll fix it, right? Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. So what are 3 things in the industry, Lewis, that you feel need to be fixed?
I mean, they're working on some of this. They talk about non-domiciled drivers, and my catch to that is, several years ago, my ex-sister-in-law was trying to go to work for FFE out of Dallas. Now, she lived in Georgia. Their requirement was, in order to be employed by them, now she was just out of driving school, that she had to obtain a Texas driver's license. Well, that means you're a non-domiciled driver if you live in Georgia, that you have a Texas driver's license. So you're kind of swinging against a very broad field of people that, yeah, they got a non-domiciled driver's license, but they're American citizens born and raised.
Right. Right.
And it's created by a carrier, which I can't agree with. I told her, and she didn't. I said, I wouldn't work for them. I mean, they're a rock solid company, but I wouldn't work for them.
Wow. Right. Right. That was awesome.
But they also, the people that can't read and understand English, it needs to be brought to an end, because it just creates very dangerous situations out here in the road construction and the mountains and the whole 9 yards. If you can't understand, you're fixing to drop off a 6 or 7% grade for 10 miles. You're just going into it blind.
Go ahead,
you
Tom.
thinking that like they need to do more like a more vetting process? Like like you're saying, like so non-domiciled that's been born and raised here. Uh, they should kind of say, hey, you know what? Here's where you're at. You speak perfectly good English. You can read signs, the whole 9 yards, and then let them go on their way with getting their schooling. Or I mean, what's your process think on that?
Well, I mean, like I said, she had been through school, but the company she was going to work for wanted, because they were based out of Texas, they wanted her to have a Texas driver's license.
Wow.
So what they need to stop the carriers from requiring that. What's wrong with a Georgia CDL if you're going to work for a company in Texas? It's the same CDL.
Yeah, it's like a federal license, right? So you should be able to use it. They don't. If you have a Georgia license, they'll write you a ticket in Chicago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Right. Well, Lewis, so basically what we're hearing is English proficiency is like number one, right? English proficiency is number one. Well, Lewis, thank you for coming up. We really appreciate everything that you do for all of us. Thank you for coming in, and we're going to get to our next driver, okay?
No problem. Thank you.
Lewis, how long have you been driving for?
31 years.
Oh,
31 years. Well, thanks, brother, for sacrificing your time and putting groceries or whatever you do for the industry, the backbone.
Well, I was in the reefer business for over 20 years and all produce for most of that. And now I'm in the RGN world, open deck trailers, something like that.
awesome. Lewis, thanks for coming in, brother. If you want to drop down and then come back up, you can come right back in line, all right? All right, man. Have a great night. All right. We got next up on the show, Bandaz. Welcome in, Bandaz. How you doing? You're still on your mic.
There we go.
There we go. We can hear you now. How you doing? Welcome in.
Like Alabama.
Let's get you a gift. Hold on. Let's get you a gift real quick. All right, for coming in. We're gonna get you a lightning bolt. There you go, brother. That's for you.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Hey, 35 years into trucking. And when I first got my driver's license, it was a chauffeur's license. And I've been with so many different groups. That's like OOIDA. I've got a 6-digit number. I've been with them so long. But there should be zero tolerance. Zero tolerance. If you can't read, write, speak English, you do not, in any way, shape, or form, need to be handling a commercial vehicle. Period. End of story. It doesn't matter. I had the opportunity to go to Australia and get my Australian license. Now,
Oh wow.
an American can go to Australia, but they're driving just to get a regular license. You've got to go through phases. But because I had a commercial driver's license, I was allowed to. Now, their terminology, of course, is different than ours. They call their truck a prime mover, and then you've got sub-trailers. So I was allowed a rigid articulating trailer, which means I was allowed one trailer because of my CDL. Now, I had to go to college and take a college class to get my road train license, which allowed me up to 22 trailers. Seriously.
Wow.
Their fifth wheels, what's really weird about it is like my first trailer would only be 3/4 of the way long. But then over my triaxle, I would have another fifth wheel that was articulating. And in order to hook up to another trailer, I had to put a pin in that fifth wheel to keep it from spinning. But as soon as that trailer was hooked up, I pulled that pin out and it would just lay in a little slot. So I drove road train. I drove what was called a B-triple, which had 3 trailers. I was allowed 315,000 pounds. But because I had articulating fifth wheels, Australia is full of roundabouts.
Wow, I didn't know that.
would take my 3 trailers on a roundabout in a tighter pattern because I've got a 379 with a specialized sleeper, a 127-inch sleeper. My wheelbase on my tractor is 401 inches. My trailer's a 53-foot spread axle, which every year I've got to buy a kingpin license in Florida just so where I can go there because I'm over length. I'm right at 81 feet in length. Now, if I slide my rear axle forward and become a tandem axle, I'm legal in Florida. But as long as my axles are slid out, I'm allowed 40,000 pounds over that spread axle. Okay. That's where a lot of people don't understand the physics of weight. And so many states, believe it or not, allow 88,000 pounds, but where we shoot ourselves in the foot is tandem axles. If we went to spread axles on the trailer, we're seriously allowed 40,000 pounds because we're allowed 20,000 pounds on each axle versus a tandem axle, which is allowed 17,000. And it's legal. And because my tractor is so big, instead of running G class tires, which is rated for 12,000 or 6,000 and 6,000 on my steer tires, that's 12,000 pounds. But I went to a G class tire, which is basically the same thing. The only difference is I'm allowed 6,700 pounds on each tire, which compensated for the generator that I run on my truck. And it allows me over the 12,000 pounds. I've never once, because, I get asked all the time, how much weight can you handle? How much weight can you handle? And because my truck is so long and my sleeper is so big, I've got a shower, a toilet, and a kitchen in my truck. And yes, I've worked a lot of years to get it. My truck is paid off. It's a 379 Peterbilt with an 18-speed, a 550 single turbo cat in it, which I've got the 3406B, which is one of the most sought after cat engines. But I love following you just simply because you're making people aware of the trucking industry. The one major thing that we've lost in the trucking industry is training these truckers properly.
So everything you're saying right now to me, let's say I had a company and I wanted to hire you, right? Just the knowledge that you're saying right now, this is how we got started. This is one of the reasons we got started, because America does not realize what the American truck driver, what the American carrier goes through to make their very life exist.
Exactly.
No one thing is like, if you take Los Angeles, everything that people have and need to work and live and be at the hospital and everything else, it's not all made in Los Angeles. It comes from all over the world, and it's brought from different factories from all over the lower 48 states, if not Canada and Mexico also. And all the knowledge that you have, all the experience that you have earned 3 times more than what you're making right now. You have.
Exactly. And the thing that really irritates me the most, brokers. And the simple fact that we let brokers absolutely positively run wild. And even in the stories that I've been watching about all these accidents and everything else, as long as brokers can make their money, they don't care who they give that load to. And
It's disgusting.
absolutely positively need to be held accountable.
It's evil
for the truckers that they hire. Because if you're not hiring or giving that load to a qualified trucker, it's your baby. If that trucker wrecks that truck and kills some people, then it needs to go back on the
Van Daz, brother, I got to disconnect you because you said the K word, but come right back up, okay? Come right back up.
K-word,
Yeah, the K word. No, you're okay. Just so everybody knows, you have to say unalive. If you're talking about this, you have to say pew pew, and you can't talk about the pandemic. I mean the pandemic. So, Bandaz, come right back up, brother. I just don't want the live to get canceled. Morocco or Macaro, did I say that right? Welcome in, brother. How you doing? I'm good, man. I'm good, brother. How you doing? Hold on. Let's get you a gift real quick. What do you want? A lightning? Do you want a lightning bolt? Here we go. Got you a gift. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Good. What's on your mind?
Good. I'm a broker. So we have family owned.
Okay.
My dad, he has like 3 trucks, a reefer, and 2 flatbed, and all my loans goes to him. I don't
Wow.
pass any loans to anybody else.
That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. Awesome.
It's a smart business.
So you started a brokerage basically for your family. Like you got the brokerage so that you could give it all to your dad. You guys kind of share everything. I'm assuming.
Exactly.
That's smart.
Under me, and carrier is under him. He's been doing it for 35 years. He's retired Secret Service, so he moved to trucking. So I mean, my grandpa he was into trucking, so he followed his footsteps. So for me, like I'm still young, I'm a computer guy, so why not? You know.
Why not? Keep it in the family. I have 3 boys, so I'm actually thinking about that. Just starting a huge, business. Just all of us, just the family. The trust me, it's a psyop, it's a planned division to get us all to move out at 18. Why do you think you're allowed to legally be an adult at 18? Are we mentally or physically an adult at 18? Okay, maybe physically, but are we mentally an adult at 18? No. But if you can get people divided, if you can get families to separate, these corporations make millions of dollars off you. Like if your whole family shares a cell phone bill, you guys are going to pay $50 a month each if you're together versus 150 or 200 each divided. So how you guys are doing it, that's my dream. That's my dream. That's what I'm working on right now is to try to start that.
Yeah, a lot of
Cool.
things going on in the industry, and we watch it from far away because we don't want to get close because it's gonna affect us. My
Right.
company is like 3 years old, so it's not like 2020, 2000s.
Can I
It's just going good, strong. Because we stay together. We don't.
Awesome.
I respect all the drivers and the brokers all out there. There's good brokers and bad brokers, but not everybody is.
That's
is
right.
bad,
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's bad truckers, there's bad brokers, bad mechanics. That's what we're doing here, brother. We're trying to get rid of the bad. We're trying to encourage other people, right? Because no one person of any of us can do everything. It takes the group. It takes everybody. So we're trying to encourage people to better themselves and better your industry. If you're passionate about this industry, a lot of people call it a business, but this is a culture, right? If you love trucking and you've been in it a long time, it's not just a business. It's not just a business to me anyway. This is my life. Trucking is given. I had nothing before trucking, and I worked just as hard before I was a trucker compared to now, right? I worked just as hard, but I had nothing. In the trucking industry has given me everything. Everything I have. But do me a favor, Marco. Is that how you say your name? No, Macaro. Macaro. Uh, do you think you could build like a bigger brokerage? If have you ever thought of like with carriers giving them transparency from the shipper and just taking like 3, 5, 7% max and just see how much business you might get from owner operators, small carriers? Have you ever thought of that before?
Only take like 3-7%.
Yeah, because like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like a small mom and pop, let's say Walmart, right? There's not really any stores like that anymore. But back in the day, there used to be a lot of small mom and pop shops that sold retail stuff like what's at Walmart, right? And they didn't have the sheer volume of product being sold that Walmart does. Walmart makes pennies on the dollars. That's why it's so cheap. Well, it used to be really cheap, right? But they're selling millions of items a second, right? So those pennies turn into trillions of dollars. Well, if you or I go start a little Walmart, we're gonna have to make like $1 profit, right? Every $10 or so. We can't just make a couple pennies. So that's how Walmart's been really smart. If you did that with your brokerage, dude, you would have every carrier. I would come to you as a one man, one check show. I'd come to you if you showed me transparency on what you're getting from the shipper and you only took a little bit for yourself, not 30, 40, 50%. And I could stay in business and really have a good life for myself. Oh, bro, I would specifically work for you.
Yeah,
This side.
I agree with you about that because, trucker have a lot of expenses.
Big
Oh,
time.
I understand truckers have a lot of expenses, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
do like brokers. Like I'm gonna tell you why. It's because it's not because of the bond. The bond is only $75,000. You know, if you have a good credit, you only be paying like $250 a month. That's not a good. But the problem becomes where like the good system, uh, the transportation management system you're gonna be using, you know,
Mhm.
if it's gonna be like really really good, secured, make sure they are like great, but they are kind of expensive ones. I'm talking about right now. I have Thai. I'm paying $9,000 for TMS per month. You know, and you have to be transparent, like you mentioned. So, like for me, I only do like 15% from the customers.
Okay.
You know, but
Right.
again, like
Right.
it's always because it goes to my family. You know, my dad. You know, my dad is a truck driver, so he needs to make money for invest on something else. You know,
Right.
more trucks.
Right.
And then I'm talking about like big brokers where we have more trucks. I might need some more agents to come on board to help you out.
Right. Right.
So would you say it's safe to say that there's a lot of people taking advantage all the way around for technology? So for like example, you said the TMS is 9,000, so you can pay up to 9,000 a month. And if they were to get that number down to be manageable, brokers would actually be able to put money in their pocket as well instead of so it all like it starts at the top, right? So you got this guy out of your pocket, this guy out of your pocket, and it comes all the way down to us, and pretty much our pockets are about emptied out by the time it gets to us. So you think you could fix the system if they were to lower those prices down?
Yeah, they're like more cheaper systems. You know, their system costs like $650. You know, that can get that do the job the same thing as the Thai TMS. You know, it's just like now AI tracking. They want to make sure everything is great. There is a company they sell like camera sensors on the highway. You know, they can track you from the cameras on the highway anywhere in the country, and that you pay like $20,000 for a year for that. You know,
Wow.
just to make sure the load it goes safe from point A to point Z.
Well, Morocco, thank you for coming in so much, man. We really appreciate everything you do. And real quick, what are the three biggest things in the trucking industry you would like to see fixed as a broker? What would you like to see fixed?
I would want to say like transparent, like you said, and don't cheat your driver. You
Okay.
know, because at the end of the day, he's making the same money as you are. You have a family too. Um,
Love it.
three, the one thing is the carriers. They gotta make sure they have valid insurance. They U.S. citizen. You know, they don't. I don't have anything against of non-U.S. citizens, but just like it's because you have like $100,000 loan on your truck. You know, that needs to be delivered to the
Right.
shipper. So I want to make sure my carrier is 100% legit.
Let's follow the laws, right? That the people have spoken for already, you know.
Yes,
So,
sir.
all right, brother. Thanks so much for what you do, man. And those family ties, I really respect that. That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Thanks for coming over and sharing your story. That's great.
Bandez, you bad boy. You bad boy. Welcome back, man. You muted yourself, brother. I didn't. You got to unmute yourself. Bandez. There you go. Yeah, how you doing? Welcome back.
Okay, sorry for the K word.
It's not me, man. If it was up to me, I could care less.
know, it's the whole
Yeah.
red
Yeah.
flags.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
let me start on brokers real quick.
Okay.
I've got friends that have brokerages that I've worked with for years that actually only take less than 10%. But
Okay.
some of these brokers that I've worked with, now I pull a step deck. I pulled a reefer for years. But when they started doing 1, 2, 3 a.m. Delivery appointments, I was out. Now, with a step deck, I work basically Monday through Friday, sun up to sundown. And I did a lot of windmill hauling crane parts from windmill site to windmill site. One of the brokers that I talked to, and I know this is getting ready to get under a lot of people's skin, when I would book hauling
Good.
crane parts, they would pay me $2.55 a mile. But, you know, because I was friends with this guy, he said, how I make my money is if it is a foreigner, I only pay them $1.55 a mile because they don't know how to negotiate and they're just happy to be getting any money at all. And I was like, you mean to tell me that if I'm American, you're paying me $2.55, but if you're not American, you're paying them $1.55? He said, yeah. He said, that's how the system works. And I was like, yeah, but you're hurting the whole entire system.
Good for you, man.
Stupid like that.
That's what I like to hear right there. Morals, values, the American
I
way.
don't care who you are or what your game is. If you're screwing over the industry as a whole, you don't need to be in this industry at all.
Hmm.
And, you know, it's like when I talked about training, I can change my own fuel filters if I have to on the side of the road. It takes me about 15 minutes versus some of these company drivers that will sit in line for 4 or 5 hours waiting to get a headlight bulb changed on their truck and spend $400 or $500 when I can go into the truck stop, buy a headlight bulb, and change my own headlight bulb in 5 minutes. And it comes down to the people are wanting quantity, not quality.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
When we get to the point, and this is what I love about you the most, you try so hard to unite us, but as long as we have drivers that say, I need to feed my family and I don't care what happens as long as I'm getting a paycheck. And if just for 1 day, you know it as well as I do. If we all parked on the side of the road or shut down for 1 day, how badly it would cripple the system in the United States.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. 3 days. It would only take 3 days for complete chaos.
But yeah, you've got these people, and I call them lab rats because they run their little maze so they can get to the end and have their little rat pellet, and they're happy.
Me,
But
me,
what they
me.
don't realize, if they stop running that maze and just wait, eventually the guy that pays them at the end is going to just start feeding them rat pellets all the time.
Right. Right.
And, you know, like I said, you know, I have been in and out of councils for at least 20 years of people trying to do exactly what you're doing. But when you turned my head, is the amount of time that you spent in Washington, D.C.
Right on.
waiting to talk to the President of the United States or waiting to talk to any representative that would give you the time just to say, hey, I'm here to listen.
Right.
And until we can get that representation, all we're going to keep doing is shooting ourselves in the foot. The 3 things, and I know you've asked everybody this, the 3 things that I'd like to see changed in this industry is 1, better training of the drivers. And it's almost to the point where I think all drivers should know how to drive a manual truck as well as an automatic truck.
That's right. I'm with you on that.
2, complete and utter clearancy with brokerages. I want to know what that broker is getting paid versus what I'm getting paid.
And if you have nothing to hide, show it, right?
Yeah,
Show it. Trust but verify.
Yeah, there's no reason whatsoever that a brokerage should be making 30, 40, 50%.
That's right.
And 3, respect your brothers and sisters that are on the road out there doing the exact same thing that you're doing each and every day. We all want the same thing. We want to drive from point A to point B and eventually get back home to spend what precious little time we have to spend with our families and make sure that it's quality time.
Don't forget, everybody, truck drivers' jobs are 7 times more dangerous than law enforcement, and the American truck driver's average lifespan is 61 years old. Think about it.
Now, I have, because I rolled my ankle and tore my Achilles tendon in New Mexico, throwing a strap over a container office, I've been out of commission. Luckily, I crossed my T's and dotted my I's. I have actually retired this year. And to be honest with you, I'm scared to death. I still own my truck and my trailer. I've got a buddy that's going to start running it for me, but I'm terrified. I have no idea because I've been institutionalized.
Yeah, it's all you know. Trucking. Yeah, yeah.
That I have a small farm and I have a hunting club, but I am so lost.
Stay busy, brother.
The cast off my leg.
Stay busy.
Starting to walk again. That what I'm going to do, but I am not going to give up on trucking and helping in any way, shape, or form I can. But I really support you, and I'm behind you with what you do, and I love the fact that you spend so much of your time freely in Washington, D.C., just trying to make a difference in the industry that I love.
Thank you.
So deeply. That is my whole life.
We're going back soon. We're going back soon. We're going. We're going to go call out the corruption in a few states about what they're doing with the tolls and how they're selling our country out. And we're just getting started. So stay tuned. We are just getting started, and we work for free. We work for the people. See this? We work for the people. It's not about money. It's about principle.
God bless all my brothers and sisters out there that aren't at home tonight, that are in the sleeper and running down the road. I love each and every one of you. And I honestly say prayers for my trucking industry because people just do not understand, or they can never fathom how much we give up to make sure that America doesn't slow down.
That's what we're doing here. And you know what? More than anything, we thank you for everything you've done because you're the one who's been supporting my family before I even knew what trucking was about. You were out there risking your life every day. You were out there with cortisol and stress going through your body because you didn't know what was going on at home. You couldn't be at home. You were out here sleeping in a 73 square foot box, right? Is it fun to sleep in this your whole life? No. People don't understand what we go through, the stress, the anxiety, people cutting us off, almost taking our lives. And we're worried about them, taking their own lives because they don't realize what they're doing. And the stopping distance it takes us to actually stop if we're 44K in the box, right? So thank you for everything you've done for us. We really appreciate it.
These newer drivers will never understand what a coffin sleeper is.
That's nothing but a bed. Nothing but a bed.
That's it.
Man.
Or when you're in a cab over, you got to get out of your truck to pull your pants up, finish buttoning.
Well,
and no standing up. Hey man, I wanted to hit on something real quick. You were saying like, the guys that there's some people in this industry that they're just like, hey, you know what? I don't care what lawmaking's happening. I'm just going out there to get that extra dollar. What would be some of the advice that you could give them guys to, help fix this industry and stop just chasing the buck and bond together with us and unite to make change for the industry?
They need to realize that if they ever really needed help, they've got one of the biggest families in the whole entire United States that would band behind them to help them in any way, shape, or form that we could. But when you turn your back on your family and you want to stand completely independent, what are we supposed to do? I mean, if you're not going to help the industry, if you're not going to promote the industry, and all of a sudden you hit a bump in the road and you start calling out for help, brother and sister, we see you. We, the industry, we, the family, we see you. We know whether you're family or whether you're just wanting to take advantage of the system.
That's right.
And I can tell you right now, we're going to stand back and say, you know, hey, you've been, you know, independent, all about yourself and nobody else. Guess what? You know, fix it yourself.
Bandas,
Brothers or sisters
Mhm.
that puts into the system, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care if I'm 500, and I've done this before. I've had a driver contact me in Georgia and say he wanted to get home for Christmas in Maryland. I literally got a load going from Georgia, close to where he was broke down, to Washington, D.C., and I was able to swing by his house and drop him off. And after the holidays, his son was able to take it back down to his truck in a pickup truck. Did I ask for any money? No.
Brotherhood. That's
You know,
what
that's what it is. The brotherhood and sisterhood. Man, we've got to stick together because we are a family that must take care of ourselves, take care of each other. Because if we're looking for handouts, they're not coming. If we're looking for government to step in and help us, that's not coming. We
That's right.
must be able to take care of our own.
I salute you, Bandas. Thanks for coming in, brother.
We're trying to teach. Hey, you know what? Like we got to self-educate. We got to self-regulate. You know, we got to bond together to fix this industry because no one's going to fix it for us other than ourselves. So that was well said. And one more question on the what would you say is compared to Australia roads to United States road? Could you say that Australia roads were better or worse, or United States roads were better or worse?
Baz left, Sean. So, Baz, can you drop it in the chat? Yeah.
We'll get them on next time at least.
Yep.
They
Yep.
actually
Let's see.
ask them about the roads.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, Baz, come up if you want to answer those questions, brother. If you're still watching, come back up. Misfit, thanks for your patience, brother. How you doing? Let's get you a gift. Hold on. Let's get you a gift. First thing. There we go. Get you a gift. Welcome in, man. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about y'all?
Good. Good. What's on your mind?
So I was listening to y'all. I just jumped on literally right before I came up. What was his name? Bam?
Yeah. Bam Daz. Yeah.
You know, he was talking about unity and brotherhood and you know, from what I've experienced these last 16 years, and I sound I'm tired, guys. I just drove all day.
We can tell.
It's still not even over yet. So
Hey, thank you for a hard day's work, man. I bet you nobody's thanked you today, huh? So thank you for the 18-hour day. You know what I mean? We get it. We get it.
Than that, buddy. It's
Yeah.
harder than that. But no, you know, one thing I learned about this brotherhood unity over the last 16 years is that it slowly has been ripped away from the driver. When I first started driving truck, it was 2009, right at the end of 2009, 2010. We were in that real hardcore recession. I went to driving truck because the company I worked for, I was a pipe layer. I did storm sewers down in Florida. And the company I worked for went belly up, did a company-wide layoff, laid everybody off, sold everything. So I went into trucking. But my first company I worked for, and this has stuck with me ever since it was said, the owner, he tells me something happened. I was a trainer, and I didn't want to be a trainer. It was like 8 months after I started driving truck. They made me a trainer, and I was like, I was so against it. But I remember the owner telling me, he goes, "Well, I hire truck drivers, not steering wheel holders." And
That word right there. That word, you just said it. Yep.
but he, what's the word? Um,
Professional driver.
no, what 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 he is. The owner of the company, and I'm going to call him out. I'm going to call the owner of the company out because he's turned into hiring steering wheel holders.
It's all by design.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's Wilson Logistics out of Missouri, right? He built his company off the back of Prime Incorporated, and really good company when it was Will Trans. Really good company, right? It was before they fell into the ELD and all these other,
Speed limiter,
yeah,
lane assist, all of it. Yeah.
the whole mega carrier vibe, right? He was working toward that, but it was before all that, and now he turned around, he went and bought Jim Palmer. I think that was like 2015. He bought out Jim Palmer up there in Montana, Montana.
Wow.
And he sold that all off, sold all the assets off, and now he's Wilson Logistics. He's got that big, huge, nice terminal out there in Springfield. But the Unity, back to the Unity thing, it's been eroded from the drivers from as long as I've been out here, and you see it more and more every day. I don't know what is being said to these drivers in their orientations. I'm not sure what's being taught to them in their orientations, but it's almost as if they come out, like he said, they're all for themselves, and when you have an industry with dozens of people who are just for themselves, and you see it on the road. You see them tailgating, flying through the traffic, running out to the left lane, pushing cars out of the way. And that's a selfish driver, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So the unity and the brotherhood, the only way we're going to be able to bring that back. And I'm not trying to sound racist. Just so everybody knows, my wife is Mexican and Native American, so I'm not racist. I'm an American.
Right.
We need to get rid of the foreign drivers. The foreign drivers, along with the foreign-owned companies, they need to go. Honestly, I don't care what the brokers get paid. I don't. Because at the end of the day, as long as I'm getting what I need out of the deal, I can care less what they're making. Right? So if I call the broker up, my operating costs, fixed operating costs for my setup is $2.17 a mile.
Nice.
Every load I pull averages between $265 and $375 a mile. So I think we're picking a fight with an easy target when we go after the brokers, right? Because the brokers, you can't blame them. They're just like us. We're wolves.
Right.
Come across the feed pile, we're gonna jump on it. We're gonna eat. We're gonna feast. You know what I mean? And just so happens that they've been able to carry it out longer and profit better. Instead of fighting against them, maybe we need to start learning from them.
Well, that's the thing. But so there's always good and bad, right? So I always tell everybody, if you ever look at a storybook, right, there's always a princess and there's always an evil. So you know what? We're not saying that all brokers are bad, right? We're saying that there's some bad carriers, there's some bad drivers. You know, that those are the people that need to. We got to weed these guys out of the industry and fix it. And I think if we bring professionalism back and we say, hey, you know what, we're going to be held at this standard, and we want to be held at that standard because we are. I mean, if you look at it, you know, that every day you got to go do your pre-trip and actually be a professional. Those are the guys that's going to fix the industry, right? They're the ones that we want in the industry. And to weed these guys out of it, you know, we got to call them out. We got to say, hey, you know what, this guy's a bad broker. Hey, this guy's all the way up to the politicians, you know. We're not just starting at a low level. And all, you know, everything rolls down a hill. So we got to figure out the system to fix the system, right? Like I always tell everybody, you got to know where you came from to know where you're going. And that's what we're doing here right now, is trying to figure out, how did we get here today? How did we, you know, make all these rules against us to make it to where we can't make money? You know, where is the money going for the broker?
We didn't make these rules.
Right.
We
Well,
didn't have a hand in making these rules.
Absolutely.
I will add with this, you know, you'd be surprised if every single day you focus, it's what do we focus on, right? So if you focus on how many cars cut me off today, well, there were two or three or four, right? Well, how many cars didn't cut you off? How many cars did use their blinker? Probably about 50, right? We're like trained and programmed since birth to look at only the bad that everybody around us is doing. But if you notice, there are way more professional drivers than steering wheel holders. It's just we've been programmed to talk about the bad 10%. And that's what we're trying to do, right? Get rid of all the bad brokers, the bad mechanics, the bad insurance people, all the greedy sharks that call trucking a business. Let's get them out, because trucking is not just a business, it's a culture, right? I know thousands of professional drivers that do very well on the road. I see them every day. Like, I don't know them personally, but you know, we don't notice the people that are doing good, because that's what we're supposed to do. We only notice one bad guy that's, you know, cutting everybody off. So what are we focusing on at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
And the old turkey.
So anyway, Misfit, go get some sleep, man. Thank you so much, brother, for everything you do for us. We really appreciate you, and keep the shiny side up. We're gonna get to some more drivers, all right?
Buddy.
All right, man. Take care, man. Come back and see us, okay? All right, Liz, welcome in. How you doing? And Chris, you're next. I haven't forgotten about you, Chris. Also, Rick, we'll get you up too, okay? Go ahead, Liz. How you doing? Let's get you a gift, Liz. Let's get you a gift. What do you want? A lightning? Nah, let's give you a stereo. Here you go. You got the 80s boombox. There you go. How you doing?
I wish, I'm sorry, I'm a little upset tonight because I wish we were doing okay, but we're not. My husband is getting so frustrated to the point people keep turning him down. And we're about to lose our storage unit because my husband can't pay for it and whatnot. So he's very upset, and I've been trying to keep him calm. But all these insurance companies, nobody wants him, and it's so sad. And the guy who betrayed him last year has just ruined our life completely. Like, it's hurting him so much, and we're at the point where I just don't know what to do anymore.
Well, Liz, let me ask you a question.
I'm sorry for getting upset.
That's okay. You're human, but let me ask you a question. What do you mean the insurance? What, he can't get hired onto a trucking company? Does he have like a lot of points against his MVR? He's got too many PSP points. Like, what's the problem that he can't get a trucking job?
I guess it's that scale point or whatever they do. They said he's got
PSP.
Yeah, that thing, whatever that is. But he's been getting calls all day, and they keep saying, "Well, we're going to look at it," and then they, like, 5 minutes later he gets a rejection, and He just like he's doing over with small companies, medium companies, big companies, and it seems like nobody wants to take a chance on him. And like I said, the gentleman that messed him over last year has really messed up his like career. It's messed him over bad,
Right.
and we just don't know if we're going to be able to survive because we just he's doing everything he can. And
So have you heard Sean? Correct me on this because I'm not too familiar with the SAP program, but what I am familiar with, there are a lot of companies out there that will hire drivers that have too many PSP points on their record. I know PSP clears every 3 years, so every year he'll get one more year away from the three. Does that make sense? He's been off a full year, so he's got 1 out of 3 years that's perfectly clean, right? So he's only looking at 2 years. So my question would be, have you tried any of those companies? And Sean, do you know more about that? I've heard a lot that there are companies out there.
Yeah, tell them to give me a jing tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to work with them. Like I said, I did a lot of recruiting, so I know some of the major companies that would actually hire him. Just tell them to give me a jing tomorrow. If you want to set up a time schedule, probably around 1 o'clock your time. Give me a jing, and then I'll walk you through it. I don't want to go on detail on live, but I'd be more than glad to help him and actually put him in. I guarantee I could probably put him in a seat probably by next week if he gives me a jing. Because I know all the companies out do it. They just don't want me to spread the information to track that kind of stuff. So.
Right. And
I get it, and I'm upset for him because he's worried about our storage unit. We have 9 days to come up with the money to pay for it, or else it gets sold. It's a lot
right.
of stuff.
And Leah, what I would suggest is maybe for now, while he's trying to get a trucking job, if the PSP points or the MVR is really if it's that bad for him, maybe Home Depot or just something temporary to put some money in your pocket.
Can I answer that question? I do that for a living. So
there you go, Liz.
If he has his own truck, there are people who are looking for him. Home contractors, roofing people, post office. They're looking for good truckers.
He doesn't have his own truck. We were not able to even afford a truck.
Can you borrow a truck? Because you can do 2 or 3 loads and then you'll be out of the way and in the black and you'll be profitable. I just had a guy who did that this week. He borrowed a truck from a guy, ran 2 hours lumber from one end of town to the other town, made $125 in one day to cover a medical bill. These guys are looking for old school blue collar workers.
We don't know anybody like that, so I'm sorry.
Well, Liz, we're gonna get to some more driver. Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
If he gives me a call tomorrow, like I said, I can get him in a seat. And the good thing about getting him in a seat, then you can get an advance on your fuel card because these major carriers actually do it. All he has to do is get booked on his first load, and then he can take a fuel exam. I'm gonna tell him right now, don't stay in that world because it's like you can get tied up into taking advances, and then your paycheck goes. So maybe we'll work with him on how to manage that part of it because I see a lot of truckers that they get stuck in that realm and all they are is living from the next fuel advance they can get to make it. So
it's a slippery slope.
Tell him to make a call, and like I said, we'll work through it. I'll get him in a seat. Trust me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
All right, Liz. Yep. Have a great night. Okay. Good luck. All right. Bye-bye. Next up is what is it? Park. How do you see your name? Parker James. What's going on, man? How you doing? Hold on. Let's get you a gift. Let's get you a lightning bolt. There we go. What's going on, man? Welcome in. How are you?
How you been? I heard
Good.
through a point of mine that you did a lot of trucking knowledge through here. So I'm new to the neighborhood. So
okay.
I want to appreciate all the truckers I've had to work with for the last 9 months when I've had to load and I put you in a certain spot. I appreciate when you come and you say, hey, I'm a wide load, I'm the left load, I'm this, I'm that. I appreciate it because then it makes it easier for me to balance you when I'm trying to get you ready for the scales.
Nice.
That is running trucks.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to show the American public, we're trying to show the American people what we do, because nobody gets it. Nobody knows the stress and the anxiety and what it does to our families, what it does to our bodies, our life, how much of a risk it is. Every single day, just to start the truck up and get out on the road, we are risking our lives. That is a real thing. Nobody wants to talk about it because we've all been programmed, and powerful people have put it out there. No, they don't want to talk about it because they want to take all the money off our back, right? But it's 7 times more dangerous than law enforcement. So I think it's a big deal.
Or even when you have a truck that goes down and you have to call someone up and go, hey, can you get the other truck from the yard and bring it here?
Yeah.
States away, it's not like night and day. You still gotta pay your team members, you still gotta pay your mechanics, you still gotta pay the insurance on that thing before you even fire up.
That's right.
Your boat. So my family's a third generation lumber people, so we know how that goes down.
Wow. Wow, that's really cool, man. You're lucky to be involved in that. That's really cool. Well, what are the 3 things in trucking that the 3 things in trucking in your opinion that you would like to see get fixed?
More down to earth, small talk conversations on what would be better to teach the next generation, and more old school CV radio. I miss that.
Ah, nice.
I grew
Yeah.
up in the 90s, so I was a CV guy, so I missed that part.
Those were that was by design to take those out of our trucks with stock. The stock trucks don't come with it anymore to divide us so that we don't talk. Because if we talk, we become very strong. And if we become very strong, we have more freedom and more money. And that's what we're doing here. We're taking back the industry that I mean, we're 90% of the chain, right? But yet we're overregulated, we're overstressed, we're underpaid. It's ridiculous. And enough is enough. We're taking it back slowly.
It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
one of my truckers the other day, he was telling me, he's like, I got fined for something. Like his load, it was just off an inch of the limit. They fined him for like I think one tire not being known. Like he probably had to air it to get out of the mud. Who knows? I mean, we don't know what he went through. We weren't there in the seats with him.
Right, right. It's crazy. I've been calling a lot of reality shows to try to get them in my truck, get them in Sean's truck, get them in other drivers' trucks. Let's do some more reality shows to show how the American freight and the American truck driver, the American professional commercial truck driver, actually gets freight from A to B. There's a fake version and there's a real version, right? Just like with soldiers, doctors, cops. There's Hollywood and then there's real.
The fake version is when you have an operator who doesn't know where A to B is, and you're like, there's no way in hell I'm getting there to there in this short time.
Right.
You're going to need to get some overtime for gas, for coffee, a shower, or something, because you can only run so far as a person. You're going to crash at some point. And, and they've made this new law where you can only be so many miles on the road. It's like, okay, so then what's a trucker supposed to do? He spent 18 hours on the road. He's got 32 hours left to go before he gets to stop. He can't get there on time because the gates are closed. What's he do? Play tic-tac?
Well, that's why we need to get, that's why with the ELDs, this is just my opinion, leave the ELDs, leave it up to the truck driver, right? Leave it up to the truck driver, not the carrier. The driver that is operating the truck, don't let the truck operate. Let's bring back stick shifts, right? And let's give the freedom to the person that actually operates the truck, the human being, the truck driver, right? The one that's been doing it for 80 years. Let's allow them, if they want an ELD, give them an ELD. If they want paper, give them paper logs. And if they mess up and they violate the law, hold that one person accountable, not the entire group for one guy or one gal making a mistake. Hold the person accountable, not the entire group. That's not right. That's just like pew-pew laws. Did you know that there are more pew-pew violations in the cities that ban all of them? There are more violations and crimes in cities that ban pew-pews because guess what? Criminals don't follow the laws anyway. So you're only hurting the good people that are only going to defend themselves.
And most people don't understand that if you have a 13-gear truck, or you have a 12-gear truck, or you have a 10-gear truck, it doesn't stop on the damn dime. I'm going to have to slow back for 5 miles before I run my into you.
That's right.
Especially if I have
That's
a
right.
light load or a heavy load.
That's right.
And then the other thing I don't understand about these people is if a son gives his truck to another son, or if a father gives his truck to another person and it's paid off, we shouldn't have to tax them double on that stupid thing. That's like stupid. It's like almost him buying his own brand new truck. That's dumb. It's like if the dad had a Peterbilt and the Peterbilt's paid off, then the son should be able to follow in the father's footsteps if he wants. I mean, this is the land of the fleet.
That's right.
12% tax every time you swap that title over. Each time it gets 12% taxed, which is insane. So I mean, if you sell that truck 20 times, the people that are buying it, by the end of the life of that truck, it's made a lot of money to the government. And the thing is I don't mind them collecting it if they're going to spend it the right way. If you're going to collect that money and say, hey, you know what, that's going to go to roads and it's going to fix it. Well, then, all right, cool, work with it. But when we're taking it and we're saying, hey, we're building infrastructure, and then they say infrastructure is anything that is used by the community, that's infrastructure, which is not. That's not the case. And, they're starting to build police stations and all this other stuff. And it's like, guys, they make their own revenue. Truck drivers, we make our own revenue, and you're taking the taxes from us. Give it back to where it's supposed to go, to the driver, or to the roads, to the infrastructure that it's actually built for, not to whatever you guys think it feels like it needs to go to. And that's the bad thing. It's going into political pockets. They're misusing it, misspending it, and then it all ends up into most of it going into politics pocket to do it. So yeah, you're right, 100%. I think the tax on the 12% on the truck should just disappear, because I mean that's
if they did a PFP loan, they could mark it as basically kind of like when the families put houses in leases. Then that would keep building money, and if they couldn't sell it, it would be in the family forever. So that's what most drivers should try to do, because then it gives you never know. We're not Palm Smart. It gives the kids some bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and not only that, and then we take that tax money and we go give it to other countries instead of helping America first. And my question is, why am I grinding 90 hours a week for people in other countries? My question is, why don't I and my family have health insurance and dental insurance when I'm working 90 hours a week for our country, but people in other countries are getting 100% health care paid for by our tax dollars? Enough is enough. Thank you, brother, for coming in. We really appreciate you, and we're going to get to our next driver, okay? Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. It was good having you here. I'm going to head out.
All right.
If anybody knows tow truck people, share them down the road. We need more of those guys.
Will do.
Absolutely.
All right.
Appreciate your time coming up.
We forgot to mention everybody. If you guys feel free to do this, go follow everybody. We're trying to build a community here. We can't do it on our own. You know what I mean? We need you, the watcher, you, the people that are commenting, to go follow. You see something that somebody says, you align with them, you like what they're saying, go follow them, go support them, go to their lives and write in the chat and give them gifts and whatever, help support them so they can get in the FYP. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build advocates and strong carriers and drivers. That's what we're trying to do. Chris, welcome in, brother. What's going on, man? How are you? Let's get you a gift first, all right? Let's get you a gift before we start. Let's get you a J-Bo. All right, what's up, man? How are you?
But can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm using that new mic and testing that out. So
No worries. Sounds good. Sounds really good.
So you guys are exactly right with the whole taxes. Now I want to point something out. Every time we bring something up, like truck work or road conditions, anything like that, they always want to do any research, right? Where do you think that research money is going?
90% in their pocket. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Exactly my point. They always want to do the research, even though they've already done the research.
Yeah. So what?
Get back in their pocket where nobody can see it. Then when you start chasing
exactly, and they say all money is going into the research because look at how much money is actually going into just research. And then nothing ever gets done because they say the money was spent on the research.
Right. It's a scam. In my opinion, it's a scam. It's just a way to get more. That's the new rich. That's the new way to get rich is figure out a. I don't know why it's echoing. I think that's you, Chris. Whatever. Yeah, whatever your audio is doing, I'm echoing. Chris or Sean, talking. Let's see if it echoes with you.
Yeah, see if you can turn it back a little bit, Chris. Then it should stop it. It's kicking back to you.
How's that?
Turn your gain down or up. Your gain.
That's better. That's better.
What do you mean the gain? I don't know how to do the gain.
You can. Good.
Well, I know on the CB, but not on the phone.
Okay, maybe it's not called a gain. It's called hang on, brother. We'll help you out here. Hold on. It is called. What's it called? It's called I think it is called gains. Hold on. Listen, let's talk about it later. I'll help you later, Chris. But it's it's got like a little orange line, and you turn it up or down. But I'm gonna have to mute you for now, brother. Okay, and we're gonna get some other drivers. Thank you. All right. How do I pronounce your name? Rick Lotick. Welcome to the show, man. How you doing? I don't know if you muted or I did. Let me see. Hold on. There we go. It's turned on. Let's get you a gift, man. Let's get you a gift. I can hear you, brother. How are you? There's a lightning bolt for you. How are you?
I'm in my truck.
That's okay.
Hey, I'm glad you had me up. I wanted to say that what you're doing is great. You are a wonderful host. You brought to light some incredible thoughts, and these things need to be spoken of.
Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead.
What I wanted to talk about is this. Are you following this thing with Super Ego, the trucking company?
A little bit, yeah. What's on your mind?
I'm concerned because I've seen my company that I'm working for. I'm a company driver. I've seen them. I'm not going to mention names because that's dangerous. But I've seen them do some of those things that those chameleon companies are doing. Things with the logs and things with different names and things like that. And I'm concerned that I may be working for a chameleon company.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Sean, Sean or Chris, can they make a comment? Go ahead.
I just followed you, so if you want to send me a private message with the MC number, I can actually verify that you're actually working for one or not. I can, I know all the information, so yeah, if you want to, and I'm going to private, so shoot me a private message.
Yeah, I'll do
Yeah,
that.
and if you send it to me, I can actually look it up too and get a post out there.
Okay, now here's the number one
Like
question.
a warning.
What do I do if I am?
You want to warn the other drivers for one. For another, you can actually go to a DOT website. They have a complaint site. And I can give you that link.
Right in solo. Chris, it's whatever your audio is, bro. It's making everybody echo really bad, Chris. I don't know what it is. No, it's not you, Rick. It's not you. It's Chris's audio. We got to figure out his audio, which we're gonna do later. But riding solo, bro, says that's okay. Somebody in the chat said FMCSA is so quick to knock the driver and not the company's brokers. Oh, I thought he said something else. Can FMCSA help you, Sean? Doesn't FMCSA have something for drivers that they can go make a comment on a chameleon carrier, or no? Or do I have that wrong?
Site. I got the link for it.
Okay, so Rick, I want you to reach out. Go follow Chris and Sean and DM both these drivers right here. Okay, these businessmen. Go, yeah.
complaint. We'll find out that they are, if they are conveyances. You don't want to go on there and start doing a complaint or not. But let's do our research first, and then we'll say, hey, you know what, go out there and put it on the FMCSA site, so that way you're not stepping on your toes if it is wrong. But yeah, I'll be more than glad to send me an MC number and all that.
I just suspect it. It's not confirmed.
Right on. Well, Rick, what are the three things in the industry you would like to see fixed, brother? What are the three things you would like to get
The
fixed?
number one thing that I'd like to see fixed is that you need to be an American in order to be an American truck driver. I'm sorry, but that's the case. You can't be from some other country speaking some foreign language and be an American trucker.
Okay.
The third thing is I'd like to see the Department of Transportation actually go after the company instead of the individual driver. And the last thing is that I'd like to see drivers become courteous again, like we used to be back in the day, instead of being always out there trying to do each other in. That's a shame that it's become that way.
Well, you know what, brother? We are all changing that here. So come back and see us again. Come back and hang out with us, and we're going to show you what brotherhood looks like. We're going to show you what the 1970s looked like, okay? Because we got a lot of older veterans, a lot of older veteran truck drivers that are teaching us how to act, right? Our wisdom, what is it called? Older folks, they have wisdom. We're listening to them, and we're finding out what it was like in the 70s, and we're going back to it, man, because it worked back then. It was great back then, the brotherhood they had, and now we have a sister. So, anyways, thanks for coming in, brother. We're gonna get to some other drivers, and
Real quick.
yeah.
Appreciate you having me on. Thanks very
I
much.
can't
God
read
bless.
it. Check the comment. I can't read it.
FMCSA complaint. Okay. Pastime for a Change says FMCSA complaint link is on the front page of Pastime for a Change. So, Rick, if you're still watching, go to pastimeforachange.com. Mike, is it .com or .org? I'm sorry. Go to Pastime for a Change, and the FMCSA complaint link is on the front page of Pastime for a Change. Anyways, next up, the one, the only, drum roll, Jorge. What's going on, brother? Let's get you a gift. What do you want, man? You want a chili or you want a lightning bolt? What do you want?
I'll take a lion.
Ah, lion. Bro, I'm a truck driver. I don't got that kind of money. Come on, man. I don't got that kind of money. Hey, let's change let's get the industry. Ah! Woo! I love it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, what's up, brother?
I came out here because I heard you say something that triggered me. Now, I
Uh-oh.
apologize for doing this to you.
Uh-oh.
I apologize for doing this to you because
Go ahead. Yeah.
We talk. We're good, right?
Yeah. We debate, bro.
You're not the only person that said this, and the fact that you said it right now, it just triggered me, right?
Okay.
This is what you said. You said it was in regards to EODs, right? In regards to EOD and paper logs, you were like, you shouldn't blame everybody for one people's mistake.
Right.
You should punish that one.
Don't
person.
punish the group. Don't punish the group. Punish the individual.
Why not use that same energy when it comes to non-domiciles?
Because I fight for everyone, man. That's your job, fighting for just the non-domicile.
But you know what I'm saying, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
Again, I just bring it up because you spoke on it.
Right.
I'm not the first person there to say that. And I actually asked that to other people, and they're like, oh, well, I'm American, and I get that right. I'm like, no, if you're going to use it, you got to talk about it, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the only thing that just kind of pisses me off. Like, what do you mean? Like, oh, yeah, you're using that logic for one thing and not for everything. But you're right, and it's my job to advocate for my thing.
Yeah, bro, that's you, man.
In that sense,
You have that dominated. You have the non-domicile dominated, bro. You're doing it. Bro, you've met actual representative. You know how many of the 2 million American truck drivers that are out here have they don't even know what Congress and Senate are? You know how many? A lot. I didn't know till 7 months ago. So we're fighting for all of us, dude, including the non-domicile. And you know that.
no, like I said, me and you were good. We're good.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to bring up is this. And this is, again, has nothing to do with you. This is in general. I've seen since I started getting involved with all this advocating, right? I've seen so many lives there. I've seen your lives. I've seen JJ's lives. I've seen Cal's lives. A whole bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, once they get off TikTok, where does all that go? Right? Like at the end of the day, like people are talking, and I feel this is just my opinion. It's like everybody has their own little groups, but you guys are truly aren't really united because like you guys have your own little sub. You can say sub goal, but if you're truly united, then why not all come together to one big live and get it? Like what happened? My question is this. You know, I see the work you do, right? I see the interviews you're doing. Again, I'm not attacking you. I'm talking in general. All these advocates.
Right.
Once they come on TikTok, where does all that talk go?
So Jorge, when I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming about all of us getting at a table, like in the dead center of the United States, right? And we're all actually talking and collaborating. I don't know the answer to your question, bro. I've been wondering that for 7 months. Why are there so many individual power players that are not just coming together and rushing the field? I don't know. I've asked other advocates that. Why are we not all coming together?
So one thing that I realized in like you said earlier, I'm advocating for non-domicile, right? And one thing that I've learned, dude, instead of wasting my time and arguing with people that just don't want to hear it, and they're always just going to argue no matter what I say, I go straight to the people that have to hear it. Like I've been, like if you notice, I don't go make videos no more arguing people. I don't do that no more. I focus more on going to these politicians and getting behind them here, like here and there. Because you know when you hear these hearings at the Congress, and you're the one hearing it, you're like, what the hell are they talking about? They don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
Because at the end of the day,
Word salad.
they have these advocates and these advisors that tell them what's going on because these politicians are not in the ground.
Gatekeepers.
Yeah,
Gatekeepers.
exactly. So we need to find a way to get to those people. Because it's right here. So I just feel
You know what though, bro? I would push back on that by saying we actually are all advocating together because if you've noticed, we all kind of pinpoint on one thing, right? Like you've got the non-domicile covered. I have Sean and we have the hey, let's all unite together and pick something, strengthen yourself in that one department. Because bro, there's 1,000 problems in trucking. Not any one of us can fix. Let's get a parking guy. We need a parking guy, right? To figure out parking. We need a ELD guy. We need a roads guy, a toll guy. You know.
I guess I'm asking a question that even I don't know the answer to. Right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what I'm saying is okay, but what's really being done other than talking on TikTok on the live? It's like, what's the next step?
Jump in here, Corey. All right, so basically, right now, what we're doing with toll roads right now, I've actually sent out a bunch of requests, wanting to know where the money's actually being spent. We're sending requests out to see where